Welcome to Summer Reading with myON Reader, a personalized reading breakthrough. Research shows that reading at level is increasingly important for kids to stay on track in school. Reading impacts not only language arts, but if kids can't read at grade level, they can't read in subjects like math, science, and social studies. Motivating students is incredibly important in getting them engaged in reading. Motivation can happen by appealing to students' interests, including information in multiple formats, and adding pre- and post-reading activities. Finally, the kids that can't read at their grade level still need to be able to access content that is designed for their grade level. Often, these books revolve around curriculum and content-specific vocabulary. Adding scaffolds like audio, text highlighting, and online dictionaries can make these books more accessible. So let's take a look at the numbers or the mathematics of reading. According to the Annie E. Casey Foundation, as few as 1 in 6 children are not reading proficiently in grade 3, nor are these same students graduating from high school on time. This is a rate that is 4 times greater than that for proficient readers. According to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, just a little more than 1/3 of 4th graders read at a proficient level. The remaining students can be divided in half as reading at a basic or below basic level. There is some positive information. One example is that of the University of Reno in Nevada, which tells us that parents who have books in the home increase the level of education that their child will attain. Additional research is out there from folks like James Kim out of the University of Harvard, who talks about providing students with the ability to have choice and read at their grade level. These are the kinds of things that we need to think about as educators to help minimize that summer slide and help children develop a love of reading. That's where myON Reader can provide a wonderful reading opportunity for all of your students, giving them access to a growing collection of texts at their interest level and at their reading level, providing a personalized reading environment. myON has 3 innovations that focus on a safe social networking environment, allowing students to be a part of a community of readers, a growing collection of digital books that provide reading scaffolds to allow them to feel successful and access the text, and a growth reporting system that allows students to monitor their progress along with educators and family members to support their learning and help them achieve their potential. myON Reader is based on 3 key ideas: my choice, my books, and my growth. myON Reader makes recommendations to students based on their interests, giving them access to content that will speak to who they are as individuals and what excites them about the world around them. The books are a growing pool of online digital titles with reading scaffolds such as text highlighted, natural recorded audio, and a built-in dictionary to support all types of readers. The growth component allows students to see where they are, where they've been, and where they continue to grow, looking at their potential over time, giving them access to a personalized dashboard that can help them to see their progress and to continue to grow as a reader. Early success with myON has shown that students down in Hillsborough County, Florida, the 8th largest district in the nation, were able to access books very quickly and easily. We can see that over 250,000 books were accessed during the first 2 months of the summer, and this is before they were even given any guidance as to how to get on. The students were just so excited, they started reading right away. Another exciting component of myON is that it's a student-centered model. There are no boundaries or limits on how many students can access these resources. The digital books can be selected by multiple students at the same time, and myON will recommend these digital books from a collection of online content, providing reading scaffolds and support, in giving them access to engaging topics and formats, and also offering them new titles that are frequently added. There's also access to data to help learners, assessments that provide baseline points as well as progress monitoring. And of course, there are optional quizzes for every single title. These reporting and growth trajectory pieces of data will allow for students, families, and educators to understand where students are and where they can continue to grow as readers. myON Reader starts off understanding who students are, what they like, what they're curious about. There's an interest inventory that provides them the ability to share those kinds of topics that they're curious about and like to explore. There's a look and feel for younger grades around smiley faces. And then for grades 5 and up, there's a sliding scale that gives them the opportunity to share more about what they would like to read. But that's only part of the equation. The second half is that of a placement test. It starts at grade 2 and goes straight on up for students and allows them to take a multiple choice assessment that's up to 35 questions. The assessment will stop after a student takes 5 in a row that are incorrect and will automatically provide them with a baseline score. This will then provide them with access to the online library, where they have a variety of content to choose from. Students will be able to have the support of naturally recorded audio to model good cadence and intonation, showing them appropriate fluency, building their reading skills. They can also have access to highlighting both at the word and the sentence level, giving them that one-to-one correspondence between the text and the spoken word. There's a built-in dictionary that allows them to build their vocabulary skills, and of course the ability to stop and go backwards or go forwards and reread the book as many times as they would like. After a student has finished the book, they have the ability to connect with the text. They can go ahead and they can rate the book from 1 to 5 stars, which will also continue to tell myON the kinds of titles that students are interested in and continue to provide recommended titles for the student based on their interests. Students are also given the ability to write a brief review that's 140 characters long. This review allows them to share what it is that they liked or possibly didn't like about the book, sharing with a larger audience about their feelings and ideas with the text that they've just read. After each book, there is a book quiz that will allow the student to go ahead and do a quick check on share what they know. Every book quiz has 5 questions that are selected out of a bank of 12 questions. These questions focus on main idea, supporting details, vocabulary, inference, and interpretation. As students continue to read in myON, they'll have the opportunity to have a quick benchmark assessment, which will update their reading or their Lexile score. These benchmark tests are administered after every 5 books that are read or 3 hours that a student completes reading. They're in a closed passage procedure and allow students to identify the appropriate word within a given sentence using the context clues from the sentences and the paragraphs around them. As part of this experience, students will then be able to have an updated listing of book recommendations specific to who they are as readers based on their interest and their reading level. They'll be able to see their progress at any point in time through a growth trajectory report. This will show them their current scores, their previous scores, and also what their potential looks like. Students love to set goals for themselves and be able to continuously monitor where they are in reaching those goals. And because myON is an online program, students can log in and share this with their families anywhere where there's an internet connection. As administrators, there's also the ability to be able to monitor what students are doing throughout their summer reading. There are a variety of formats and reports that are available. Administrators will be able to take a look at comparative results across grades and classrooms. They'll also be able to take a look at what books are being read most throughout their schools and districts. In addition, they can take a look at what are the top rated books and what are students most interested in. You will be able to see activity summaries, looking at what grade students are in, their current reading score by Lexile, and how many books have been read as opposed to those that have been open, and the total time spent reading. Be able to take a look at top 10 listings, reviews that students are providing on the books themselves, and also taking a look at which students are decreasing in their Lexile scores, making it easy for you and your staff to quickly spring to action when the school year comes back into swing, knowing which students are needing more support. And of course, you'll be able to look at activity by grade level and see which students have been the most engaged and those where you might need some additional assistance. And then finally, you'll be able to look across all of the schools or across all of the classes and grades to see cumulatively the progress and the usage of all of the students, classes, and participating programs. myON Reader is very closely tied in to the Common Core. All of our books are correlated to the Common Core state standards. And we know that kids must read complex and increasingly complex texts in terms of range and level. Content can't be just about pictures, but deep understanding on a given topic or domain in nonfiction, and around plot, character development, and experiences for fiction. Through quizzes and highlighting in audio and our book reviews, they begin to write and connect to the text, communicate with a larger audience through their school community of readers. There's increasing access to the books through the browser-based solution. Students can access myON from home and have a virtual backpack of books to encourage reading and make it easy to find the right book. Vocabulary is built through a combination of the built-in dictionary and reading aloud to the student, building good, fluent readers of text. And the text will always remain central. It appears as it does in the actual print book. There are a variety of formats that students will be able to choose from. We know that there needs to be something different, appealing to all different types of readers. Many struggling readers improve when there are photographs or clear visuals of what the text applies to. And illustrated drawings can often make hard-to-comprehend topics more understandable and relatable. Graphic novels take current topics in social studies and science that students may shy away from and find them engaging through exciting characters and heroes that help to bring these concepts alive. There are over 2,000 titles available, and this number continues to grow. Capstone Digital is proud of the many imprints that are available. Capstone Press publishes high-interest nonfiction titles for struggling readers and reluctant readers. Picture Book Windows publishes engaging illustrated fiction and nonfiction for on-level readers. Stone Arch Books publishes fiction titles that engage boys primarily that are struggling readers, but we find that girls love them too. Compass Point Books publish middle school nonfiction that is on grade level. And Heinemann Raintree publishes nonfiction for library and for classroom. And we have recently added on Saddleback and Sylvan Dell publishers, which also offer a wide variety of content for students to increase their love of reading. Remember that when students are working with myON, they have the ability to read outside of the traditional classroom, making this a natural fit for summer reading. Any place where students are going to go, they can take their username and password with them as long as there's an internet connection available, and they can log on and they can keep on reading. So how do students get a username and password, you may ask? Well, there are some things to consider as we're creating usernames and passwords. We want to think about which students will be batch enrolled. We want to think about how to go ahead and pull that information, and of course, who in the district can pull that information. The data that's required usually comes from the Student Information System and can be downloaded into a CSV file that's shared with Capstone via an FTP site or email. There'll be a couple of important documents that will be shared with you during this process. We'll provide you with an import file specifications document, which will give you instructions for gathering the data that's needed. We'll provide a sample file that shows you what the format looks like. And then, of course, an IT overview that explains the minimum system requirements needed to run myON on a computer. So when student and teacher data are provided, it's done through a simple Excel file that will be shared in a CSV format. Some simple information just needs to be matched up from the school information system, and your data folks will be able to quickly provide the appropriate columns and work with our customer experience coordinators to make sure that they have this information and can quickly load the information to provide everyone with a username and password in time for them to get ready for summer reading. We're also happy to announce our Summer Reading Olympics, which will officially kick off on June 1st and run through August 15th. The research does show that if students read approximately 8 to 10 books over the summer, it equates to attending a structured summer schools program and will minimize that summer slide. Well, the only sliding that your students should be doing is sliding down a slide at the park. So we want to encourage students to be reading on myON over the summer and to win some great prizes. Winners will be having some exciting things such as an iPad for the gold medalist, a Kindle Fire for the silver medalist, and an iPad Touch and an iTouch for the bronze medal. The top 100 students will receive a myON backpack, and every student who reads 8 books will have a myON Medal of Honor. Of course, we don't want to forget the educators, and we know that those educators that go ahead and use myON during their summer programs will have the opportunity to win an interactive whiteboard courtesy of a partnership through Polyvision. There are lots and lots of tools that we have to help support your program and get it started on the right foot. There are certificates of achievement to share, posters to post around, flyers to share out with specific usernames and passwords, and even letters to send home to moms and dads and families to make them aware of this exciting opportunity. So what's next? Well, we encourage you to go to thefutureinreading.com. Here, you'll be able to see myON in action and also learn more specifics about the fabulous things that are happening around the nation with myON. At thefutureinreading.com, you'll be able to register and receive a copy of all of the flyers and posters and handouts that you'll need to get started with your summer program. We'll also ask you to start thinking about who you want to be in charge of your data files so that we can get ready to build your site and load your students and educators and get everybody up and reading. And then, of course, we'll make sure that you know how to go ahead and connect with our Capstone blog, because all winners will be notified via the Capstone blog after August 15th. We want to take this time to thank you for joining us and look forward to partnering with you over the summer. Happy reading.